Well, let me segue to entertainment and politics, which, of course, I think entertainment dominates politics, like you said, because it's a mainstream part of the culture, and the culture is, politics is down, like you brilliantly said, politics is downstream from culture. You are an unabashed Christian. You served with me on the NRA board. You are conservative. You just talked about, having friends like the Penn family, and Sean Penn, of course, is as much of an activist, I guess you can say, on the left as you are on the right. How has it been? I had your friend and colleague Joy Villa on recently, and I asked her, I'm going to ask you the same question, which is, how can you navigate being a Christian conservative and having these basic fundamental conservative values with an industry that is dominated by certainly Democrats and in many cases far left of center Democrats?
It's funny for me. I don't care. I mean, I do care. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to stop me from working with somebody who's talented. So if I'm playing on a football team and I know that my defensive line are a bunch of liberals and they think that men should be able to play in women's sports, if they're doing their job up front, I'm going to smack them on the butt and say, great job,
Right.
because I can't do it without them. In that same sense, I think we're one big country and we can disagree on politics. And since Sean Penn and I grew up together, and he's being several years older than me, Chris Penn, his younger brother, was really a year older than me, and we were closer. But like Sean Penn, I disagree with his politics completely, but I love Sean because Sean is family to me, goes way back to whenever. So if Sean was in a pit of vipers and fighting, I'm going to stick my back up against Sean's and help him fight his way out. I can disagree with him politically. But still be on, the same team in the sense that the human team. And Sean's a bit of a contrarian.
Yes.
So like, if it's cool to be liberal, Sean might just be a conservative. I'm just speculating.
No,
but
no,
he's a
I
bit
think you're right.
contrarian.
That's why I kind of stuttered when I said from the left, because yeah, he holds some left wing points of view, but I agree he's much more of a contrarian, much more of an idol breaker, if you will, to shake things up.
And
Well,
just to touch on the Second Amendment a little bit, when
yeah,
he showed up over there in Louisiana, I think during Katrina or something like that.
yeah.
There's pictures of him on the boat, on a boat out there helping people. But what's he got? He's got a nice like 12 gauge shotgun with him, doing his thing. I was like,
Just in case.
just in case. Hey, if the First Amendment's there, it's great. We get that right to free speech. But the Second Amendment is just in case they don't like you to
Exactly.
speak your First Amendment.
Well, as you know, we all say within the NRA family that all the Bill of Rights rests on the Second Amendment. Indeed.
Yes, sir.
And Sean Penn recognized that in Katrina as well. Well, speaking of idol breakers, if you will, we've got a new president, not a new president, but a fairly new president in his
100
term.
something days. Yeah.
Yeah. And he has made it a mission to help what he says save Hollywood. He's using tariffs. He's attempting to dramatically change the trade imbalance, if you will, or what he perceives as a trade imbalance within Hollywood. What are your thoughts on what he's doing with the tariff war in general, and in particular vis-a-vis Hollywood?
Well, I'll say the tariff war in general, he is playing 4D chess, and a lot of these people are still playing checkers. They get out there, the mainstream media likes to absolutely just cut him down. He said that the price of eggs would go down immediately. It's day 7 and the eggs are still expensive. Well, it's because the Biden administration killed 1.5 million people. Not people, I'm sorry, eggs. And then I'll get into the people thing later.
Yeah,
So
he killed the pig too on his watch. Well, we still think about what he did in Afghanistan and the tragedy of that withdrawal.
that breaks my heart. But Trump, he's the price of eggs is down. You don't hear about eggs anymore. The tariffs. Oh, he hasn't made a single deal. But boom, makes a deal with Great Britain. There's a reason he wanted Great Britain to be first too. He is so far ahead of all this. And oh my gosh, the stock market's melting down. It's all over for all of us. 80% of the United States and our citizens are not involved in the stock market. That's for the wealthy, and unless their 401k is part of it. But oh, look, we're already back. That's gone. Now, so they're screaming about everything he does, but he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He talked about tariffs. He is coming in, to use a Second Amendment expression, both barrels blazing.
Absolutely.
And he is going at a pace that I think just has stunned so many people in the media and elsewhere because they can't harp on one thing. This illegal from Venezuela or from El Salvador who's back there, Abrego Garcia, he is just this regular guy, no due process. Turns out he's a dirtbag, wife beater, human trafficker
That
from El
deportation
Salvador.
order. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got it, of course, with that little hold because of that one get. The fact that we know all this and then it's going away, so they just jump on anything to fight him. And I think he's playing 4D chess. This first tariff is great. I mean, this first trade
Great.
deal is. I
Great.
imagine the dominoes are going to fall now, and the United States this is exactly what I voted for, Niger. People talk about this. Oh, there people are angry. They voted for Trump. I don't know a single person who's angry they voted for him. He's delivering 100% on what he campaigned on. I am ecstatic. I think it's great. I like the upheaval, especially within government. Let's weed out the corruption. Let's weed out the fraudsters. And he's doing a great job. As far as the tariffs in Hollywood, I don't know enough about it to really speak intelligently about it. I mean, like if you're going to shoot something that, a vacation movie in Rome, you probably want to shoot it in Rome. So I don't know about the tariffs there and what it is, but what I would say, and far be it from me to tell President Trump what to do, but what would seem to make sense to me as a filmmaker is incentivize the movies to be here as
Right.
opposed to tariff the films elsewhere. But there's something else to it. Like you can't get your film. Like if you and I made a movie together and it's this great movie about cowboys and blah, 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 like my dad made Young Guns, and we want to play it in China, they don't let you just play it in China. You got to go through a process and you might get your film in there, might not. And there are places that do that. So again,
And
President Trump.
with China, I suspect you have two types of tariffs. One, the official tariff, and then the corruption tariff that also follows to get your
Well,
film.
that's 7 different tariffs. We got to break it up, Nigel. You can't just call it it's this the ministry of this and the ministry of that, and the ministry of the Innis Cain charity and blah blah blah. I mean, that's just what it is. And so maybe he's dealing with that. Maybe there are other countries are tariffing our films. I'm not aware. I don't know, but I believe fully in what President Trump has been doing. I don't know specifically about the Hollywood tariffs, but I
Is it
love what's
true,
happening
Dean?
with the economy.
Dean, is it true that our number one export to the world is Hollywood? It,
Yeah,
it's films and TV that we export abroad.
it's
So
culture.
yeah, it's called exactly, and it's a part of the American culture which dominates the world. To of course the chagrin of Iran, China, Venezuela, Cuba, and our other.
And the reason is our freedom, my friend. It's our freedom. And then allows you, I don't care what color, creed, religion, sexual orientation, whatever, doesn't matter. Here in America, you can do anything. You have the freedom to say what you want to say without threatening someone's life. You have the ability to protect yourself. You have the ability to compete fairly if things are done okay without the government sticking their thumb on the scale, too much. And they do a lot. And hopefully we're clearing that out with regulations. And then you have the ability to make a lot of money and pass it on to your family. And that's what everybody wants in every culture that I've ever been around. I've been to 56 countries. That's what people want. That's why we export our culture, because we have the freest nation in the world.
Absolutely. Some people say that America is not just a place, it's an ideal, and I think you hit the nail right on the head on that.